In a sport filled with dominant fighters, few have generated the kind of buzz and fear that Shavkat Rakhmonov has in such a short time. Shavkat Rakhmonov has quickly risen through the ranks of the UFC's welterweight division, and his unique blend of striking, grappling, and ruthless finishing power has left many of his opponents afraid to face him. Known for his flawless record and ability to finish every fight, Rakmanov is becoming one of the most feared fighters in the UFC. As his legend grows, so does the intimidation factor, and today we're diving into why Shavkat Rakhmonov is the rising star UFC fighters fear. 2. Rakmanov's early dominance. Rakmanov burst onto the scene with a perfect finishing record, with every single one of his victories coming by a knockout or submission. In his UFC debut, he faced Alex Oliveira, a veteran fighter known for his toughness and durability. Despite the challenge, Rakmanov finished Oliveira with a guillotine choke in the first round, immediately establishing himself as a threat in the welterweight division. Following his debut, Rakmanov continued to dismantle his opponents, with each fight furthering the narrative that he was more than just a rising star. He was a future champion in the making. Fighters who had never been finished before were quickly dispatched by Rakmanov, showcasing his versatility and fight-ending ability. 3. Rakmanov versus Neil Magny, UFC Fight Night. One of Rakmanov's most notable performances came against Neil Magny, a seasoned UFC veteran known for his endurance and grappling skills. Heading into the fight, many believed Magny's experience would provide a tough test for Rakmanov. Critics argued that Rakmanov had yet to be tested by a well-rounded veteran. From the opening bell, Rakmanov imposed his will on Magny, controlling him in the clinch and on the ground. Despite Magny's attempts to fight back, Rakmanov dominated every aspect of the fight, eventually finishing him with a submission in the second round. The win over Magny sent a clear message to the rest of the division. Shavkat Rakhmonov was here to stay. His ability to finish a highly respected veteran like Magny solidified his place as one of the most dangerous fighters in the welterweight division, and many of his future opponents began to take notice. 4. Fighter reactions. Why Rakmanov is feared. The community's response. After his victory over Magny, the MMA world began to take Rakmanov even more seriously. Fighters in the welterweight division acknowledged that facing him would be a daunting challenge. UFC fighters like Stephen Thompson and Gilbert Burns have spoken about Rakmanov's dangerous all-around skill set, praising his ability to mix striking and grappling seamlessly. However, there is also a sense of fear surrounding Rakmanov. Fighters have expressed that his calm demeanor and methodical approach inside the octagon make him even more terrifying. Unlike many brash or overconfident fighters, Rakmanov's quiet confidence and ability to finish fights without ever seeming flustered have set him apart. UFC legends like Daniel Cormier and Khabib Nurmagomedov have lauded Rakmanov's calm but deadly style, comparing him to some of the greats. Cormier noted that Rakmanov is not just a powerful striker, but a strategic genius inside the octagon. 5. Rakmanov's potential matchups. Who's next? Next potential opponents. With his undefeated record intact and a growing list of finishes, Rakmanov is on the verge of entering title contention. Possible future opponents include top-tier fighters like Colby Covington, Belal Muhammad, and even a potential showdown with former champion Kamaru Usman. Each of these matchups presents an intriguing test for Rakmanov, but fans and analysts alike believe that he is more than capable of passing each one. The Colby-Covington factor. A potential fight with Covington would pit Rakmanov's finishing ability against Covington's relentless pace and cardio. Covington, known for overwhelming his opponents with pressure, may find it difficult to avoid Rakmanov's fight-ending power and grappling prowess. This fight could be a defining moment in Rakmanov's rise to the top. 6. What makes Rakmanov different? Fighting style. What sets Shavkat Rakhmonov apart from other rising stars is his ability to seamlessly transition between striking and grappling. He doesn't rely on just one skill. He can knock out his opponents on the feet or submit them on the ground. His calm demeanor inside the octagon is also a stark contrast to more emotional fighters, making it difficult for his opponents to find weaknesses in his mental game. The fear factor. Many fighters have spoken about the fear that comes with fighting someone like Rakmonov. His unblemished record and ability to finish fights in multiple ways have created a psychological advantage. Opponents know that one mistake can be the end, which adds immense pressure when stepping into the cage with him. Relentless Finisher. Perhaps the scariest aspect of Rakmanov's game is his finishing ability. No fighter has gone the distance with him, and his streak of finishing every opponent has earned him the reputation as one of the most dangerous men in the UFC. 7. The road to title contention. With each fight, Rakmonov edges closer to title contention. Many believe that a few more victories over top-ranked opponents will secure him a shot at UFC gold. His blend of striking, grappling and finishing power makes him a nightmare matchup for any welterweight, and fans are eager to see how he fares against the division's elite. How long will it take? Given his current trajectory, Rakmonov could find himself fighting for the welterweight title by the end of 2024. His rapid rise through the ranks, combined with his undefeated record, has made him one of the most feared and anticipated title contenders in the UFC. 8. The psychological edge. As Shavkat Rakhmonov's dominance in the octagon grows, so too does the psychological impact he has on his opponents. The mental game in MMA is often just as important as the physical, and Rakmonov seems to have mastered both. His calm demeanor, coupled with his flawless record, makes stepping into the cage with him a daunting experience for any fighter. Quiet confidence. Unlike many fighters who rely on bravado or mind games, Rakmonov's quiet confidence speaks volumes. He doesn't need to engage in trash talk or intimidation tactics outside the cage. His presence alone is enough to unsettle his opponents. His ability to remain calm under pressure, even in the most intense moments of a fight, is a rare trait that gives him a psychological advantage before the fight even begins. The fear factor. Rakmonov's unblemished record and his ability to finish every opponent have created an aura of invincibility around him. Fighters know that making even the smallest mistake against him could lead to their downfall. This fear factor plays a significant role in his opponents' performances. Knowing that they are up against someone who has never been taken to a decision adds immense pressure, and many fighters find themselves hesitant and unsure of how to approach the fight. Methodical approach. Part of what makes Rakmonov so terrifying is his methodical approach to fighting. He doesn't rush his attacks or overextend himself. Instead, he picks his moments with precision, waiting for his opponent to make a mistake. This calculated style only heightens the fear his opponents feel, as they know that one wrong move could be their last. His ability to stay composed and capitalize on any opening adds to his reputation as one of the most dangerous fighters in the UFC. 9. The path to greatness. As Shavkat Rakhmonov continues to dismantle his competition, the conversation surrounding his legacy has already begun. Fighters, analysts and fans are starting to wonder just how far he can go in his career and whether he has what it takes to become one of the greatest fighters in UFC history. Comparisons to the greats Rakmonov's dominance has drawn comparisons to some of the greatest fighters in MMA history. His ability to finish fights, combined with his calm demeanor and tactical genius, has led many to compare him to legends like Georges St-Pierre and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Both fighters were known for their ability to control fights from start to finish, and Rakmonov is following a similar path. The question now is whether he can maintain this level of dominance as he faces tougher competition on his way to the top. Title: Aspirations. It's clear that Rakmonov's ultimate goal is UFC gold. With each victory, he inches closer to a title shot, and many believe that it's only a matter of time before he fights for the welterweight belt. His unique blend of striking and grappling, combined with his unmatched finishing ability, makes him a nightmare matchup for any champion. Fans and analysts alike are eagerly awaiting the moment when Rakmonov gets his shot at the title. The legacy ahead. If Rakmonov continues on his current trajectory, he has the potential to become one of the greatest welterweights in UFC history. His undefeated record, his ability to finish every fight, and his composed fighting style have already set him apart from many of his peers. As he prepares to take on the best fighters in the division, the question isn't just whether he will become a champion, it's how long he will reign. With every fight, Shavkat Rakhmonov adds to his legend, and the MMA world is left wondering just how far this rising star will go. Shavkat Rakhmonov is quickly becoming the fighter that no one in the UFC wants to face. His unique combination of striking, grappling, and composure has turned him into a rising star that fighters fear. As he continues his march toward title contention, the question is no longer if he'll fight for the belt, but when. With every fight, Rakmanov adds to his legend, and fans are left wondering how long it will be before he captures UFC gold.